Hello screenwriters, welcome back to the channel, and this is the first video of many of me documenting my next film project. The film that I'm currently working on is called Taste. In this first video, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I came up with my logline and also break down my characters. I'm excited to document the whole thing on this channel, so make sure you get subscribed if you want to keep up with the update on how I go about producing my next film project. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Stratword platform and show you the early stages of how I went about creating my logline and my characters. I'm still in the process of fine-tuning some things. Let's jump right into it. All right, as you can see over here, these are the 3 different log lines I came up with. I'm going to read them to you, and I'm going to show you which is the official one that I'm going with. Now, remember, that could change, right? All right, the first log line is, to save his career from certain ruin, a rising rap star must go to extreme lengths to hide his life as a cannibal. All right, that one's all right. The second log line I came up with, while chasing his break in the hip-hop music business, Zion hides a gruesome secret. He is a closeted cannibal. I really like that one a lot. And the final log line I came up with, Zion wants to be the world's biggest rap star by any means necessary, but his life as a secret cannibal threatens to destroy his dream. I like that one too. Ultimately, the one that I decided to go with whenever someone asks me what my script is about, or if I have to send a one-pager or just any type of information to anyone, this is the official logline I'm gonna go with. Again, that could change. Right now, the official logline is, if someone asks me what my next film is about, I'm gonna tell them this. While chasing his big break in the hip-hop music business, Zion hides a gruesome secret. He is a closeted cannibal. Now, obviously, you know, I could elaborate a little bit more if someone is asking me about it, but this is the official logline I'm going to go with. Now, let's talk about the characters. Zion, which is our main character. Now, his full name is Sean Drayton. Now, Zion is just his hip-hop name, and S is for his the initials of his first name. His official hip-hop name is Zioness, right? Whenever he's on stage or he's rapping, he's going to refer to himself as Zioness. Now, he's 23 years old, and he's a male, and he's black. Now, here's a short description of our main character, Zion. An ambitious up-and-coming rapper born in the jungles of New Guinea and raised in Nova Scotia by anthropologist parents, he hides a primitive secret beneath his Canadian upbringing. That is just a short description of who he is. Obviously, there's a lot more layers to him, and this is what this is, right? This is his bio. And as you can see, it's pretty long. I'm not going to read it all to you, but I'm going to give you just a quick synopsis of his bio. He grew up in New Guinea, which is this village right outside of, or this country right outside of Indonesia. It's also around Australia. His village is basically, they are secluded from the rest of the world, right? While I was doing research for this project, I came across a story from 60 Minutes where there's an actual tribe in New Guinea, and believe it or not, they practice cannibalism. And they don't just practice it for the sake of just eating human flesh. For them, it's a ritual, meaning that if they believe someone is some type of a sorcerer, they would hunt that person down and then eat them. Now, what makes them a sorcerer? For example, if someone in their family dies suddenly, right? the surviving family member is considered some type of sorcerer because obviously they are secluded from the rest of the world. They're not sure about bacteria and things like that. People died. This brings us to Zion. When he was 6, his parents suddenly died, right? And as a result, the tribe labeled him as a sorcerer, meaning that what they're going to do is they're going to hunt him down and kill him and eat him. Now, while this is happening, there's an anthropologist, a researcher, and he was doing research about this particular tribe. He found out that Zion was marked for death because his parents died. He felt sorry for him. You know, he went through all the legal paperwork to actually adopt him to save him. He brought him to Canada, where they lived in Nova Scotia. Although he left his village when he was very young, his adopted Canadian parents obviously showed him ways of Western life, and you know, he never ate any humans, because even as a young one, when he was in the village, when others would participate in this ritual of hunting others down and eating them, obviously it was part of his culture, so he would actually eat people as well. Now, occasionally he would have certain cravings, right? But his parents would help him with that. They went through therapy and things like that. Those cravings went away, but not completely. While growing up in Canada, Zion discovered hip hop. He fell in love with hip hop, right? And when he reached 18 years old, he decided to move to Toronto so he could pursue his hip hop career. Now, our story starts out where Zion is now 23, right? He's been grinding in Toronto, trying to break into the music business. However, something ugly is picking his head. He's starting to have cravings again for human flesh. He tries very hard to curb those cravings until one day he ends up killing someone and eating them. Something happened. Something magical happened. He goes and records, and his creativity starts flowing. In that session, he creates the type of song that he's never been able to do before. The song is wonderful, and he just gets a boost of creative energy. Then he starts to have some dark thoughts, right? By eating this person, it brought him back to his ancestors, and as a result, it gave him this creativity. He feels that if he could repeat this 9 more times, then he'll be able to create an incredible album, and that album would set him up for life where he wouldn't need to kill anyone else. He convinces himself that he wants to go and kill 9 more people, eat them, sacrifice them so he could create this album. However, something begins to happen. He begins to enjoy the ritual of killing and eating these individuals. Now, that is just a rough, quick breakdown of our main character, Zion. Now, if you want to read more about that particular character, let me know, and I could share this whole thing with you so that way you could get more deeper into his character. All right. Our next character is Michelle Walker. All right. Here's a little quick breakdown of Michelle. She's 21, female. Race is ambiguous, and here's a short description of Michelle Walker as a character. With a passion for music and a lack of focus, she navigates the Toronto music scene in hopes of managing and breaking the next great artist. Now, again, as you can see, I have a nice little long bio of Michelle, but I'm not going to bore you and read it to you. Instead, I'm going to give you just a short breakdown of who Michelle is. Michelle went to music business school. Her ultimate goal is she wants to work for a major record label as an A&R. She has a passion for music. She loves all music, but she has a special love for hip hop. And A Tribe Called Quest is one of her favorite hip hop groups. She's what you would call a hip hop historian. Even though she's young, she knows a lot about hip hop, particular 90s hip hop, right? She has one problem. She lacks focus. Because of this, she took a little hiatus from her last year of college. She decided to travel internationally so she could discover different music scenes. She comes back and she realizes that the US and Canadian music scenes, particularly hip hop, is just horrible. No one's original. And as a result, she decided to start this podcast called Rule 4080. For those who don't know, Michelle definitely know, that is a reference to a lyric from a song from A Tribe Called Quest, Rule 4080. Record companies are shady. Look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. Michelle and Zion are great friends. She met him while he was performing at a local club, and they became very good friends. Zion believes Michelle is the smartest person he's ever known. Our story picks up where Michelle is now back in Toronto, having started her podcast. Now, the podcast is not that huge. She has a small following, and starting to pick up. And then that's when she started to see that Zion is really starting to take this music thing serious, and he's getting better at it. Now, the discussion of her managing him is looking more and more likely, especially if he could keep up the streak. Now, our last supporting character is Pastor Enrique. Let's get into Pastor Enrique. Pastor Enrique is 45 years old. He's male, he's Latino, and he's a short description of his character. With a second chance at life and a troubled past behind him, he has made it his sole mission to help the lost and forgotten find a better path forward. Again, here's Pastor Enrique's bio. I'm not going to read that whole bio. Instead, I'm going to give you a short breakdown of who Pastor Enrique is. Pastor Enrique had a troubled past. He went to prison at 16 for the murder of someone, right? We'll get to know who that person he murdered later on in the story as I develop the characters in this world. Pastor Enrique spent about 30 plus years in prison. He's not out. He's a free man, and he's changed his life around. He is the pastor at this new age Christian church. The church is cool and hip, and the way they preach is definitely something that is very unique. Pastor Enrique met Zion one day when he was recruiting like he does. He was outside of this club, and Zion came out. They just started talking, and they became very, very close. Pastor Enrique was someone that Zion would feel very, very comfortable talking to. Now, during the time where Zion would have the cravings and dark thoughts of like eating human flesh, unknowingly, those conversations that he would have with Pastor Enrique would really help him. Pastor Enrique has invited Zion to church many times, but he never truly accepted. Instead, the two just have casual conversations, walking and talking, and these conversations are very therapeutic to Zion. As the story goes on, Pastor Enrique becomes a major part of Zion's journey, and we get to see how Zion navigates the many, many conflicts that he has in his life. That is what I have so far. I have my main character and my two supporting characters, because I'm going to be producing this myself, and I wanted to keep it very tight, and that's why I have only 3 characters, because this allows me to first of all, now I have to spend a lot of money on casting and locations. So I want the story to be very tight and very character focused. That's why I have these. Obviously, there's going to be other characters involved, but those 3 are the main one that we're going to follow, and the story is going to be about. What's next? Next is the treatment, right? As you can see, I still have to write the treatment, because before I can start writing the actual screenplay, I need the treatment. That's my blueprint. Even before the treatment, though, there's something else that I want to do, which I'm going to show you right now. What I want to do next, I want to come up with 10 victims, because Zion wants to produce his debut album, and the debut album has 10 songs, right? And 10 songs. For each song, he sacrificed and ate 10 victims. Now, I have to find 10 victims and why he chose those victims. So I don't want him to just like go out there and just kill anyone for any reason. There has to be like a reason why he chose this person, especially if this album is going to be something very special to him. Now, I'm going to watch The Silence of the Lambs. Now, obviously, this is 2 separate stories, but I want to kind of like get some inspiration from Buffalo Bill. Now, if you remember Buffalo Bill, he went and got his victim, and his victims, he was building his suit. If you never seen Silence of the Lambs, it's a great movie. And what I'm going to do is, as I'm watching that, I'm going to take notes and try to get inspirations. And then once I have the victims, I'm going to it's basically, I'm going to list who the victims are and why he chose them, right? As you can see, I have 10, and then I already know who the 10th victim is. However, I'm going to keep that hidden because, I don't want to give too much away now. Yeah, that is it for this video, and thank you so much for watching. I'm excited to bring you on this journey with me as I document my next film project, Taste, and fade out.
Brainstorm, break it down, make a dream, create a scene with Stratwood.